Oh, don't have it yet, but it says that we do.
There we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
What up?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Good. You ready for Game Day Live?
We gonna do another one?
There we go.
Should we interlock our fingers a
I
little
don't know.
bit? We're gonna be
Interlock
spending a lot
fingers?
of time
I like this.
this fall together. I'm excited about this.
I am too. I am really excited about the kickoff of the NFL tonight. We got the Rams and the Bills. Feels like the public thinks the Bills are going to win this game going away. The Bills have got a lot of hype in the offseason just by going to Kansas City and losing. Didn't even make the conference championship game.
Here's the thing. I think it's probably for me more what the Rams are bringing to the table. And we had this weird, press conference a couple of months, maybe a month ago, with Sean McVay, and he's on the podium talking about how his quarterback is struggling and going through some things. It's kind of like a baseball injury, could take a length. And then today, we get this thing that, hey, I feel as good as I felt in a long time. I feel better today than I felt last season. And I'm like, how much of this is gamesmanship? Coming into it, I'm thinking if Stafford's 80%, well, that's significant in game number one against the Buffalo Bills.
The offensive line, not quite what it was last year. Andrew Whitworth retired, but I still think that the Rams have got a lot of weapons, and their defense improved. I mean, they got Bobby Wagner at linebacker, who seems not to age. I mean, he is outstanding with Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be pretty good on that side of the ball. But why don't we tell people what we're going to do? This is going to be something we do all year long. We're going to have a midweek broadcast. We're going to be able to talk to you on Sam's social media platforms, also the Sports Animals. Saturday, we're going to be watching Oklahoma and Oklahoma State games at the same time, and you can correspond with us by sending a message to you on Facebook.
You can go to the Animal Facebook page, the Animal YouTube channel, or right now live on my Twitter, and I think that's probably going to grow here as we do this throughout the season and we get some more platforms up. But yeah, you can send a tweet, a message on the YouTube, or a message on the Animal Facebook page. So.
And we are at Brent's Cajun tonight, which is a great place.
Yeah, I love my guy Brent.
I had some hush puppies. They got a little band outside, a jazz band going on.
Yeah, this is the spot on Thursday
Bill
night.
Withers.
I feel bad for my guy Brent as he is on I-35 South, headed down to Austin, Texas. For those who don't know, Brent actually attended the University of Texas on a scholarship to play football. He's a diehard Texas fan, and I told him, as my dear friend, please don't go. Why would you subject yourself to what you're getting ready to see on Saturday? But he was bound and determined to cheer on his Texas Longhorns. So best of luck to Brent.
I think that's going to be pretty ugly.
It's going to be a disaster.
I don't think that Texas can stay in the game physically with Alabama. You mentioned that you like some of their young offensive linemen, but not this week.
I'm very frustrated with I'm kind of torn here. As somebody who never beat Texas in college, I have this built-in hatred for the Longhorns, and I'm never going to get over it. At the same time, I take a lot of pride in playing against the Texas Longhorns of that era, right? It was Vince Young and this slew of NFL players that donned that burnt orange, and they were bigger than life. The Texas brand was bigger than life. And something is wrong with the culture. It's a foundational issue in Texas, and I think it might be sport-wide. The only thing that's clear of it is swimming. Texas had a kid in a dugout drinking beer this year in baseball. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Right? It's just so frustrating to me that they haven't found the way to bounce back in the last decade from this hole that they're in. But to hear Sarkisian talk about how this game's not going to define them, to hear their players in a press conference talk about how they might blow us out, where are you? Where are you? You're in one of the capitals of the game of football, and y'all are talking about, oh, yeah, they might be able to blow us out a little bit. What kind of garbage is that?
Yeah,
it seems real Bush League from Texas.
I think the culture's just kind of soft. It is. I mean, it's pretty entitled. You got a quarterback that's got 2 NIL deals with 2 different car dealerships.
Right.
He got his his Aston Martin towed last week, but he's got another car deal already. I don't know. I mean, I'm all for players getting paid. But I think you have to balance some kind of toughness and grit and determination with that, and not everything is just handed to you. But we'll see how Texas goes. That's another one of those games that we're talking about people betting this week. The 4 teams that were bet the most this week in Vegas are to this point right now. You know who number 1 is?
Alabama.
Alabama's number 4.
Oh.
OU is number 1.
To cover?
To cover the spread, which it's odd to me because the spread this week, I think that Kent State's a better football team than UTEP.
I would agree.
Maybe. I mean, but they're going to try to play fast, so maybe the pace of the game will be something there. But I would kind of lean towards Kent State in the points this week. Alabama's number 4, like I said. Central Michigan, I don't even know who they're playing, but they're the number 2 most bet team based on, I think, how successful they performed in Stillwater last week on offense.
I find it interesting. The Oklahoma State, faithful are are a little frustrated with me this morning,
Really?
as which is the norm this time
Yeah,
of the year.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I just all I said was I'm not going to judge their defensive performance as this is who they are from last week. That would be ridiculous as one game of football to be played. But it would be foolish not to be a little bit alarmed by the 546 yards they gave up to Central Michigan. Like people act like when the game gets out of hand that players stop playing. This is football. Like you can't not go hard in this game. The second you don't go hard, you get hurt. So I feel like it was more like Central Michigan started figuring out what to do and how to work that defense and started having a bunch of success against a team that in game number one with a new coordinator, and they had a hard time communicating. I'm worried about what happened at halftime or what didn't happen at halftime that allowed Central Michigan to get where they're at. So I think it might be a pretty smart bet
I think
as far
fair.
as Central Michigan is concerned.
I think that's fair this week. I was impressed. I was impressed with Central Michigan, and I expected Oklahoma State to struggle on defense because they lost some really damn good players.
Absolutely.
I think they'll be okay going forward. Fantasy aspect of tonight's game. I got Cam Akers in a couple of leagues. Everybody's telling me not to play him. He's kind of a frustrating guy. We'll see what they do, the Rams do with the running back situation tonight. Another guy that I'm really excited to see is Allen Robinson, who's played at Jacksonville and Chicago, and he's not had very good quarterbacks, but he's always put up pretty good numbers. And so I like to see him tonight, really ball out and play well. I expect him to have a good year this year. So I got him in a couple leagues.
I don't have anybody playing in tonight's game, but I was very interested to see where Stafford went in fantasy leagues around the country, right? You would think winning a Super Bowl that he would be one of those initial quarterbacks taken, but in my league, I think he was probably 8th or 9th to go off the board as far as quarterbacks were concerned, maybe not getting the respect that the defending Super Bowl champion should get. And as far as Cam Akers is concerned, this dude is either the best back in the league or he's Ezekiel Elliott. Like that's what we're looking at here. Either he is going to shine and be incredible, or he's just going to be a guy out there just taking handoffs. It's got to be a head thing with him because athletically, holy crap, right? Big body, physical guy, got all the speed in the world. You love the way that he looks, and you love him when he's doing well. I don't know what to expect of him. I had the option to draft him in my league, and I was like, pass.
Yeah,
I passed up on him.
He's small. He's only 175 pounds.
He only weighs 175?
I think so, yeah. I think that's about what
he's like 205.
I don't know. That's
right.
about the range of weight for me. It's anywhere 30 pounds. You get a guess. But he's always been fast, but the toughness has not necessarily been there. So we'll see what happens tonight. You got Jalen Ramsey going against Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
So that might mean a bigger night for Gabriel Davis or Dawson Knox or someone along those lines. And I also think that it's very important to look at Buffalo and see what they do with Josh Allen. Is he going to take off and run from the beginning of the season? Are they going to save that for the postseason? And can Buffalo establish the run, which is one of the things that they didn't do very well last year?
I think that's a must, one. The second that they get that down, you're looking at Buffalo being a legitimate contender for a title this year. I would tell you that in game number one with the stars that have aligned in this game, there's an energy about it that kind of takes over. You expect great performances out of the star players. Like Josh Allen should be great. I think Jalen Ramsey should be great. I think Aaron Donald's the best player in the league, and he'll be great tonight. So when you look at who's got the most stars, you almost have to lean towards the Rams a little bit, right? It just seems like they have more first-class A players than Buffalo does.
Von Miller played for the Rams last year. He's got a nice triangle cut in the back of his head. Not something that would look good on me with kind of the wavy curls that I've got in the back, but that's impressive. It's impressive for him.
He's that dude's incredible. He was incredible in college. He's been incredible in the league. He kind of set the tone as far as speed rushes are concerned. I'm happy he's on a contender. And I'm happy he's got a couple of defensive tackles that are like that defensive line's going to get a lot of single blocks, a lot of talent from right to left. There's a bunch of dudes that can play. So you don't have the ability to double team as much as you would like, right? You gotta pick the guy and then go after that guy, and everybody else gets a free run. You're gonna see it in Buffalo. You're gonna see it in Cleveland this year. You might see it a little bit in Washington. And you got a stacked group like that. It's easy to have success.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of people picking the Bills to go to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go with kind of a dark horse. I like the Colts. I like the division that they're in. I think Matt Ryan gives them quite a bit of an upgrade. I think you've got one of the top running backs in the league. I think you've got a wide receiver that's really coming on in Michael Pittman Jr. And I think the Colts can get there.
I think Matty Ice is tired.
You do?
Yeah, man. I just, there used to be something about him that there was a fire, and I just don't know that I see it much. Maybe Indianapolis kind of gives him that burst. I'll tell you right now.
You would hope they would, because I mean, this is a team that is probably as good or better than even the Atlanta teams that they've had that have gone to the Super Bowl.
He's great with a good running back. Well, now he's got maybe the best back in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I think things are. I don't know that I believe it, but I don't know. Maybe I should, honestly, because he has always been good when he's got somebody back there toting a rock at a high level. So we'll see.
Darius Leonard is one of the best.
Who's in his receiving corps?
Michael Pittman Jr.
And
there's not a whole lot after that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, they need some help there.
I like. That's hard. We're 17 games away. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't even know who there's. I think there's a lot of good teams in this league. If Baker Mayfield was healthy and playing for the Browns, I'd tell you that the Browns would be contenders. I would have believed them as much as I would believe Indy. I think that those are good teams. Is Dallas going to take a step? Is Philly going to take a step? Jalen Hurts has done nothing in his whole life but win with good teams. Well, guess what? He's got a good team around him. He's got a good offensive line, got a good backfield, got receivers all over the place. Defense that'll hit you. That's a damn good team in Philly. Does he win with them? Maybe. That's all he's ever done is win with good teams.
Right. Well, we'll see. I mean, you're right. It's almost impossible to pick a Super Bowl team early in the season. There's so many injuries and things that are involved there, but AFC is going to be fun to watch.
What are we talking about as far as our man Tom Brady? He takes 11 days off in camp. Is that what it was?
It was strategic as to the days that he was going to take off in camp, because he wasn't going to play in the first game, so he takes off where there's no more practices before the first exhibition game and comes back after the second exhibition game, which minimizes the amount of practice time that he loses.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of convinced that he and Giselle may be having some issues right now, which kind of sucks. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying there's a lot of people talking about that, and who knows. But I don't know how that would have changed with training camp if when he made the decision that he was going to unretire, if that was something that upset her. Who knows? It could be anything else. But
I'll tell you this much. If I was the head coach and Tom Brady was my quarterback, I probably would like him to step away from camp for 10 days because it gives the dudes behind him a chance to really take the reins of it. He's 45 years old. The chances of him making it through the season without being hurt are minuscule,
especially
in my
with
opinion.
Injuries to the center and the guard.
100%. Your
he
offensive
doesn't
line
move.
is beat up. Right. He is great about stepping up. Right. That dude is the king of just feeling pressure on the edges and stepping up and delivering that football. But he is hot garbage with pressure in his face because he's trying to protect himself. Right. If you remember back to Peyton Manning's last couple of years, and it's almost kind of hard to watch when these guys start to see the headlights get them like a deer.
Right.
The second they see the other team's color burst through the center of the offensive line, it is immediately pull the football down and cover the bits and pieces that matter the most. They got to get down on the ground. Lord, please don't land on me. I mean, that's the age that this guy is at. So the guard and center situation is interesting, and I would have thought they would try to at least get somebody else into camp, right? Find a way, like the Dallas did with Jason Peters, who he's 40 years old, but that dude is at least gives you a little bit of depth.
Right. Yeah, I think so. I don't know. He's so smart that he can get the ball away pretty quick, but that A gap, zero gap rush is a pretty big problem for Brady and the Bucs to overcome. I think the NFC, oh man, I feel like the Rams are talented, but I also think that the Super Bowl hangover is definitely real and hard for teams to deal with. Just focus doesn't seem like it's quite there. And you brought up at the beginning of the broadcast tonight that there's some real mixed signals coming out about Matthew Stafford, and it seems kind of odd. There's quarterback issues in San Francisco until I see Trey Lance really perform.
Right.
Even though the rest of the team, I think, is Super Bowl ready. There's also issues in offense in Green Bay. Don't know who's going to be around Aaron Rodgers. We'll see if this team really buys into running the football because they've got two good running backs. But
yeah, the Aaron Rodgers thing is so weird to me. Like he in one course of a summer, he was like the villain, and then he became the hero. And now he's Nick Cage and Con Air. And I'm like, I love all forms of Aaron Rodgers. You lose your number one receiver. They pay you a bunch of money. The Green Bay Packers brand almost kind of bent the knee a little bit to him, which I thought was unbelievable considering their narrative and their mindset in the previous years. Like Aaron Rodgers has got some real beef, and he should. Like I feel like the Packers haven't done what they needed to do to assist this all-time great quarterback. It's like they don't want to admit that he's an all-time great. So I'm very interested in this version of him. I feel like we might be able to see some of his best football that he's ever played this season. Like I think he might be an MVP type guy because of what he's got up here. He's such a weirdo, right? I mean, he's just an odd cat, and I think he's beating people upstairs more than he is with his legs these days.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm the record. We're getting ready to kick off here. I'm going to take the Rams and win the game straight up tonight.
I'll go against you. I'll take Buffalo.
Okay. I don't really know over under how many points we'll see in the game tonight. It seems like both of these offenses can really score, but we may see teams kind of elect for a little bit of a slower pace at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, no, I think they're going to feel each other out. You know, the one thing that you have to admit that the collective bargaining agreement has done in the NFL is really kind of take away the teeth in camp. And so for me, typically, last year was a little bit of an outlier. I thought there was some good football played in that first quarter of the season, but it really does take a minute to kind of feel things out and feel the opponent out and get in that true game speed. As much as you're doing these practices with the other team and things like that, and some of that stuff gets real, that's a good test of your offensive line. But until you get in the game and now you're trying to think as fast as you are moving, you just really never know what your team brings to the table. And the physical stuff on your offensive line, your defensive front, they can be a little bit rusty. So this could be a sloppier game one than maybe people anticipate.
A couple of guys in the Bills that I think are going to get some fantasy run too is Isaiah McKenzie and Gabe Davis in this game. McKenzie may be available in your league. Gabe Davis probably isn't, but they might be on the waiver wire if they can perform in this one tonight.
Yeah, this is game one. Did you see? Wait, by the way, did you see the? I can't even think of the name of the player, but somebody drafted an NFL player and then sent them a DM on Instagram and said, look, this is how we do things here. If you drop a pass, you run a mile.
Yeah.
If you don't give great effort, you run a mile. If you fumble the ball, I'm going to stick my foot up your hind parts. What?
I don't know who
people watch their, like, what are you doing, people? The fantasy stuff is crazy, but people love it, man. Everybody's tuned in tonight to get started.
Wow, Allen's going to lower his shoulder, get a first down. Took off. Pocket kind of broke down. He didn't have anybody open.
One of the biggest surprises in sports is that dude. Where did he go to school?
Wyoming.
Yeah. Like obviously the body, the size, the speed, and all the things are great, but what a surprise that he's successful as he is.
I would agree. Not the top of that draft class, but he sure has turned out well. And the Bills got a new offensive coordinator this year. Brian Dable's now at the Giants.
I wonder, as an offensive lineman, I can honestly say that I've never gotten in my stance, looked across the line of scrimmage and thought, how am I going to do this? Like, not one time. I can't imagine what it's like getting in your stance and looking across at Aaron Donald and thinking, I got 4 quarters of this dude.
Well, one thing, you're going to have a hard time getting leverage on him, right? I mean, he plays unbelievably low.
Right. He's got no legs. He's 6 foot tall. I mean, it's amazing what he's been able to do with that body of his. Coming out of Pitt, I would have never guessed that he could be the force of nature that he is, but he's incredible.
You're going to have help most of the time with him.
One of my favorite things to do in the NFL is watch Andy Reid try to block Aaron Donald. Andy Reid sends blocks from everywhere. Receiver in motion, block that dude. Right? Tight end motion, block. Anyway, he wants 2 or 3 people to try to block him at all times, and they're coming from everywhere.
Well, that was a nice play. I mean, you send your running back out to chip, and when the pass rush comes, there's a little dump off.
Singletary. He's been impressive. Like, he was impressive in college. I didn't know what the narrative was when he got to the NFL, how he was going to – but on a team like this, when you got a quarterback that can run too, he's like the perfect back.
This drive looks like it's going right to the end zone.
You feeling nervous about your pick?
Well, it's too early to be nervous.
Man, Thursday night lights. Do you know there's no Thursday college game tonight?
And that's probably a smart move. You don't want to get in the way of the NFL opener, especially when you're talking about the Super Bowl champs against a team that everyone's picking to go to the Super Bowl.
We got a couple of college games tomorrow. What is your, as far as the weekend is concerned, what's your go-to? What's the game you're most looking forward to?
Man, I think the best game really on the board is going to be Baylor and BYU. Because I feel the
same way.
Gives us a big look at what Baylor, I think, is going to do in the second year. That's the second catch for Stephon Diggs. They got a lot to replace, but I do think that it the culture down there is pretty good defensively. I think Blake Shapen's going to be good as a quarterback.
I think it's going to be cool for us here in Oklahoma, for those who haven't been to Provo, Utah before, to get an idea of what BYU, like to really watch BYU and to look at the stadium and understand that this is going to be a Big 12 team. BYU has got a massive fan base. I was up there for business, probably 15 years ago, and I went to a basketball game, and you realize that the basketball arena sits 30,000 people, and it was packed. I mean, packed from top to bottom. Like, they are all in committed. This immediately becomes one of the toughest places to play in the Big 12, and so it's going to be pretty exciting on Saturday night.
I've only been to Utah once. I don't think it counts because it was just the airport. The Ultimate and I went on an early trip to Vegas, and we connected in Salt Lake to Vegas.
Okay. Yeah, it's eerily clean. People are very, very, very nice.
Yeah.
No good Mexican food. Yeah, they're like, "What do you want to eat?" I was like, "Let's get some Mexican." They were like,
"We're in the right spot for good Mexican food."
Yeah, we absolutely are.
This is right at the line. Zach Moss with the catch. I think they're going to give him the first down.
So far, so good for Buffalo.
Yeah, they're making this look kind of easy.
The thing that you got to love about Josh Allen is there's been marked improvement in his throwing motion from day one, right? You can tell that he's not one of those guys that's like, "This is the way I do it, and I'm sticking with it." Like, he's grown and developed. That release is faster. He looks good so far.
Oh, wide open. Wide open. Gabe Davis.
Wow. That was it's a nice opening drive down
I'm
the
not
road.
changing my pick. I'm fine. Rams get the ball. They're going to go back down and score. I like their chances to do that.
I am legitimately surprised that they were able to move down the field so easily. I really am. I mean, I would have never guessed that was going to be the case for them.
Yep, that was pretty simple.
As much as I'm looking forward to that Baylor BYU game, I don't know if I've just watched too much Arizona State. Like I spent the week watching, like during my morning show, I do it from home.
Right.
And so I've got a big old TV in my studio, and I'm sitting. All I do is watch the next opponent. So I've watched a bunch of Kent, and I've watched a bunch of Arizona State, and I have convinced myself that this is going to be a 80-point performance.
Those Kent uniforms are pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, they look good.
They look like old school Chargers.
Northeastern Ohio boys. They look good for sure. But I am a little bit concerned about what Arizona State brings to the table offensively. That quarterback was Emory. What's his name? Emory's his first
Jones.
name? Yeah, Emory Jones. Yeah, that dude was exceptional. He absolutely moved that team up and down the field. He's got great legs, great feet, accurate. I was impressed.
Well, I mean, he got beat out by Richardson, who looked legit the other night. That's for sure.
Chances Oklahoma State struggles here?
I don't think so. I like them this week. I think offensively, they ought to be able to put some points up on Arizona State.
Yeah, I think they'll score. I'm just worried about them being able to stop them from scoring. Like, I think that's especially when you consider how many points. It's 546 yards to give to Central Michigan.
Well, the game was over.
Are you in that camp? You don't think that was just a little alarming?
It was alarming. I just give them another chance. If they give up 500 yards this week, then I think that'll be a problem.
How much better do you think Arizona? Here's the question. I think Trammell had an article in the paper basically saying that Oklahoma State has passed, these Pac-12 opponents, and I would agree to that. But how much better would you say the Arizona State is than Central Michigan? Or would you say they're comparable?
I'd say they're better, but I don't think they're a bunch better. Because remember, last year in the bowl season, Central Michigan beat Washington State.
Oh, yeah.
They're better. Week to week, probably better. But they lost a bunch. Well, like they downgraded it a quarterback spot. I mean, the Daniels that went to LSU, I think, is better than Emory Jones.
Did you watch him last week?
No, I didn't watch him play Northern Arizona.
I think you'll be surprised.
You think they're better than
I think he's better than what he was a year ago.
Okay.
He kind of reminded me a little bit of what Sanders did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just looked really good. You know what I mean? Like, he looked cool, calm, collected, threw the ball really well. I mean, he was in control of that thing. Obviously, against a team like Northern Iowa, I have no idea what that means. But I was expecting somebody a little stiffer, and he looked to be comfortable in his new system.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All right, Rams get the ball. Let's see what the Rams do with the ball. No Cam Akers in the starting lineup. We're going to be Darrell Henderson.
So who's playing? Who's on the left now? That what's the old man that retired? Whittingham? That's not right.
Yeah, no, Andrew Whitworth. He was there. He and The Rock had some pregame festivities.
I always loved when my coaches would call runs in the first play. I always wanted them to call runs the first 3 plays.
Not a bad idea.
I loved it, man.
I didn't like that position last week when OU went, pass, punt.
It's the only way to get your guys really, instantly get them engaged is to run. Just let them fire off the ball. I hate going backwards first.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, it just never feels good. Never feels right.
What is your go-to order here?
At Brent's?
Mm-hmm.
So I will famously tell you that I've never had a bad thing on the menu.
Okay.
My go-to is, because this is like coming to my family's house, like everybody, I love this. I'm here at least twice a week. My daughter works up front, so I'm a big catfish pieces guy. The crab bisque is exceptional.
Okay.
Brent he's not here today, but you'll usually see him in here, and he will straight up lie to your face and tell you there's only 300 calories in that bisque. And I'm like, there's no way. The bisque is incredible. All the poor boys are delicious. He's got a ton of different pastas. I mean, everything is good. The shrimp yaya is another one of my favorites. Brittany loves the meatloaf. He's got like a meatloaf night in the middle of the week.
People have told me before about the meatloaf. They said when it's the meatloaf special, it usually will run out.
It's incredible.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you don't like meatloaf.
Right.
Yeah.
I made a meatloaf tonight before I got here.
Meatloaf is great. So I want to try that sometime soon. Okay, well, my pick is looking good so far, as the Rams look like they may have to punt.
Oh, that's a nice play by Stafford.
I wonder why Cooper Kupp's open.
How good is that, dude?
Who did he turn around on this route?
He's so good.
You can't cover him for that long. It was a nice pump fake to buy some time.
Watching these receivers run routes today, in comparison to what 20 years watching guys run routes. I mean, it's the violence that they run them with. Watching a guy like Hunter Renfrow, for example, Cooper Kupp, like the way that they break down. There's no wasted motion. Everything is about being deceptive to the guy in front of them. And I don't know how anybody covers these guys today. Like, they're masters at what they do. CeeDee Lamb's out in his backyard right now running routes.
Lateral quickness is important in football. Obviously, I'm mastering the obvious there, but smaller guys can play really effectively.
Yep.
Hunter Renfrow, he played and caught touchdown pass in the championship game as a freshman. And again, wouldn't have been that big a kid, and now doing what he's doing in the NFL,
right,
as a fourth or fifth round pick, whatever it might be.
He was a walk-on at Clemson.
Well, and look at Gavin Freeman. I'm not saying that Gavin Freeman is destined to go to the NFL and play for a long period of time, but he might. Right. I mean, he's got a lot of skills, and he's got speed, and he does have that. I think something else important, too, is those guys love football. Not everybody loves football.
What people don't realize is, like, that Gavin Freeman thing wasn't like let's throw him in there for fun thing. He earned that deal. So in the short amount of time that he was there, the fact that he earned the right to be in that field and get that play designed for him is absolutely incredible, right?
Who's this?
That's Peyton. Yeah. You can take this now. Yeah. Thanks for letting me use it. I appreciate it.
Peyton, say hi.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a family affair here, Brent.
Yeah, it's good.
She's looking at me like, when are you going to be done so I can get out of here early? She said, I love Brent. that what she said? Yeah. Yeah. I got a bunch of good kids, that's for sure.
That's awesome. Uh-oh.
Got them.
I think they did. There's the offensive line that you're talking about.
Yeah.
They've gotten some pressure.
There's like a drought, Mark. There's like a drought in offensive line play around the world. I don't know what it is. It's hard to find these dudes.
Left tackle, Von Miller.
That guy's kick slide was great, though. Like, the position that he got himself in was great. Where he messed up was his hands. He lost his inside hand, and it's game over. Like, you can't make a mistake today. You don't have a chance to reset your hands anymore. Like, it's. I couldn't imagine playing in this NFL. It's like hand-to-hand, like everybody's a black belt in the hand-to-hand combat. Like, it's just the training that they put into it. I sound like an old man. Bring back the days of just brute force.
Well, it looks like a punt here.
I just want to be. I'm just heavier than you. We're just going to move you off the line of scrimmage. Now I got to fight with you in every way, shape, or form. And then most likely get a call. Like, I used to be able to just jack people in their throat or in their face mask and not get a hand to the face penalty. Now you can't even do that. It's a shame.
Well, they're going to make the Bills go 91 yards. And by the looks of the first drive, that shouldn't be too big a problem.
What's the kid out of Houston's name? Plays ET for the Bills. Houston's the biggest
Oliver.
recruit. Yeah, Oliver. That remember him in college? Good Lord.
He was tough.
He was a freak, no question.
I would say he hasn't necessarily reached that level in the NFL yet.
No, I think he's still trying to figure it out. I think more than ever, when you get down and start messing with centers and guards in this league, those dudes are real felons. Like, he's, you come out of Houston, that's the thing that you're missing most likely is just a competition against that type of player.
Yeah, that makes some sense. What are the games you're looking forward to this week in the NFL?
Well, Baker's revenge, baby. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Jim Traber is magnificent at getting the crowd riled up, and you could tell how legitimately pissed he was.
The only problem with that is it's not a ruse. He legitimately got himself riled up.
Oh,
too.
yeah, he was legit mad.
Yeah, he was worked up.
He was legit mad.
So I would say that there's some method to the madness in terms of knowing what to talk about, but it's 100%. He got lured into his own trap.
Right.
I think.
He absolutely did. And so I've been a Steelers fan since birth. They were in Cleveland. Who doesn't want to watch? And he embraced the city unlike any quarterback has in 20 years. I'm from there. No one likes Cleveland. But he went in there and he became a part of that deal. And now the Browns turned their back on him, and now he gets to play them in game number one. It's like someone upstairs is writing this story for us.
One of the reasons and ways that he went wrong was he got picked number one. Doesn't fit into the underdog story. When you're the number one pick in the draft, you have a whole lot different level of expectations. He really never had many expectations. When he got put in the position at OU, I mean, he did start his first game at Tech, and that was fairly easy, beat up on SMU. But then, that year at Oklahoma, he wins the Tennessee game in which they look really kind of bad, and then they get better and better that sophomore season, and then it just keeps going and going and going. But he's still riding kind of that underdog story, but he couldn't ride that in Cleveland.
Right. I mean, that's kind of where it gets cut off. I would say this. I think there's reasons on why everybody's sophomore season in the NFL is a struggle, right? I feel like he did what Baker Mayfield thought was right when he played last season hurt, because that's a Baker Mayfield thing to do. The reality is the growing up portion came where he knows I should never do that, right? I should never go out until I'm on a team where I've got a Patrick Mahomes 10-year deal and they've invested that type of money in me. I can't go out there and play hurts. I can't go out there and play, 80% or 70% because, one, I'm not good enough, but two, it's not worth the risk. And I think he learned a valuable lesson there, and I don't think he'll ever make that mistake again.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's when you're a professional, you got to think about the economic aspect of it, and also, it's to me okay if you're hurt, you need some surgery, you got a messed up shoulder, just to have to sit down. Bill's got a third down and third and 4.
Darnold just sacked Allen in a way. The way that he did the guard was just a disaster.
There's Gabe Davis, or that's Diggs again. That's his third catch. That was it's a nice pass.
So much more value in receivers today in fantasy football, right? Receivers, big-time tight ends.
Found a spot in the zone.
Allen's becoming more and more dangerous each year as you can see him thinking his way through it more. It's less reaction and less throwing it with purpose.
He's gone through some, tough spells in each of the last 2 years where he hasn't thrown it great for a couple of weeks, but other than that, it's fantastic. Well, so far so good for the Bills.
You got to love the tempo here too. This is what I like about the NFL. I get to sit here, take a couple sips of my drink, maybe eat a little food before each snap instead of holding on for dear life and watching college game. And, Levy ran 4 plays in 30 seconds last Saturday.
There ought to be a lot of offensive plays in the OU game. There's Isaiah McKenzie, so he's gotten really everybody involved so far in the offense.
What a weird deal for Kent State. Did you guys talk about?
Yeah, that they didn't go home?
What is you have to buy? I mean, maybe they're staying on points at the hotel?
Well, you was paying them $1.5 million, so they can afford to stay in Tulsa for the week.
This is true. If you are UTEP, are you mad that you got screwed and only got $1 million?
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know how the numbers of that got out. I was going to say the only guy that he hadn't thrown it to so far is Dawson Knox, so this is just kind of an offensive clinic so far for the Bills. I don't know. I mean, the athletic director, you have some problems with him that he only got 66% of what Kent State got?
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal, though, in the UTEP. You got to think about. OU went to UTEP a couple years ago. So it could be a 2-for-1. They did have the ability to have an OU home game, and OU is not going to go to Kent State.
That's right.
Oh, face mask.
I'm still shocked that North Carolina went to Appy State.
I think, they're on the road again this week.
Where?
They're going to Georgia Southern or Georgia State.
Are you serious? Georgia State did pretty good.
Yeah, Georgia State played hold on.
They played someone decent. It's like 35-14, 35.
The Kentucky played Miami of Ohio. Georgia State, North Carolina at Georgia State.
Yeah, I thought Georgia State played pretty decent football last week. I wonder what the line on that is.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, South Carolina. They did a good job against.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Against Spencer Rattler. North Carolina is given 7.5 on the road.
Given 7.5 on the road. I don't know. Maybe this is a little bit of an upset alert. I might take Georgia State straight up.
That would be rough for Mac Brown. No dancing in the locker room.
So I'm taking. I've got Ohio State, or I've got Alabama covering.
Yes.
I've got UTSA.
Is that an interception?
Was it?
I think it is. I thought this ball hit the ground. We'll see. Well, that's a pretty good play right
there. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that we can call it a pick, but is that for me? I do want one.
Is that a lemon drop?
I thought it was a martini. But yeah, so those glasses.
Yeah.
I'm a big martini guy.
Okay.
I like dirty martinis. But Brent went and got me. I hate the glasses that martinis come in. So I'm like, why am I holding this?
Yeah.
So we got some stemless ones.
Okay. I
Yeah.
like that. That's a good idea. Let's see. If you want to interact with us, you can reply to Sam's page. Porter says, loving this. And then Mike D says, more Sam Mays equals good. There we go.
That's awesome. Thank you. I feel like our audience is, I'll be curious to know what it's doing on the Sports Animal Facebook page. I feel like people are always louder on Facebook. Like I post something on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, I can pull that up.
And I'll get 300 comments, in the first 15 minutes that it's up. Twitter's a little more fickle. Gotta give a shout out to Cisco, by the way.
Yeah.
He's sitting at home on his couch watching us do this.
Cisco's really fired up for the Vikings opener. He's probably placed some curses on Aaron Rodgers.
Bro, someone picked the Vikings to win the Super Bowl this year.
That was, well, okay. Michael Irvin picked Kirk Cousins to be the MVP.
Oh, that's what it was.
But there was also, I believe somebody this morning on ESPN did pick them to win.
What am I missing there?
I don't know. Maybe they win the division. The Packers are down a little bit, especially at wide receiver. Got a couple of comments on Facebook. Mark Anglin said Bills by 10. That was looking pretty good until that interception. That may be a little bit of a momentum and game changer there. Brad Scholl. Hey, guys. What up, Brad?
Is that somebody you know?
Nope. Don't know either. Oh, I'm friends with Mark.
I need to really do something with my Facebook situation. Like
What's your situation?
I didn't create a page. I'm the worst.
Right.
Social media. It's not my
What do you mean you're the worst?
I'm not good at it.
You're on
I
Twitter?
don't.
Oh, yeah.
Twitter's easy. I like Twitter. It's super self-explanatory, right? Tweet stuff, people like it, whatever.
Yeah.
So I have like a individual Facebook page and not a fan page.
Yeah.
Right. So like I've got 5,000 people on that are Facebook friends that I don't know.
Well,
so
you
like,
know some of them.
I mean, some of them. So, but like people put some real intimate stuff on Facebook versus like on Twitter. Like, oh look, I cut part of my toe off. Let me just take a picture so I can show my family.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Not on Twitter.
Not on Twitter.
Okay.
And so on Facebook, and then like they'll tell all the relationship stuff.
Yeah.
So like I'll wake up one morning, go to my Facebook page and scroll the homepage, and I'm like, I feel like I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing by reading all these things.
I don't post very much on Facebook.
COVID got
but
you.
I try not to over-tweet either. No. I mean, like you said, if I cut my toe off, I'll probably tell you.
Right.
I mean, that's newsworthy, right? Maybe on both platforms. I don't have an Instagram, though.
You don't have an Instagram?
No, I do have a TikTok, but I'm not done any dance videos.
No, I have a TikTok too. I just look at barbecue stuff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should start TikToking. Brittany's been telling me to.
Brittany was telling us both that we should post some sports content on TikTok.
Yes, it's the fastest way to go viral in social media. Is through TikTok. It's got the most viewers and users with the fewest amount of people creating content.
Just giving like our picks and our opinions. Is that what it would be?
Oh, we should do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We should do that. Like do a TikTok lock of the week situation.
That's fair. We could do that.
The guest picker. This is my buddy Chris over here. He says,
what's up, Chris?
He wants to know when the guest picker is coming on. Thank you, sir.
What's he gonna pick?
What are you gonna pick, Chris? What are you gonna pick? He picked Buffalo.
You can't pick the game in the first quarter. You got to pick something that hasn't started yet.
So Hoover's a diehard Rams fan.
How did that happen?
Well, he's from Alaska.
Okay.
And I guess when he was a kid, they were still in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the TV he was getting.
Okay.
So that's how he became a fan. So he's John, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, I got to tell your secrets here. But he's such a head case that he jumps in the shower. Like if they're not doing well, he refuses to watch it. So he just gets in the shower and watches and just stays there until the game is over.
That's pretty serious.
Like, he's a lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, during a Super Bowl, I'm like, are you going to watch it, or are you going to be in the shower while the game's being played? He's like, I don't know. Maybe I'll just get in the shower, depending on what's working. Like, that's his rally cap, is to go take a shower.
Well, the Super Bowl worked out better than the Super Bowl against Belichick.
He's been unbearable the entire year.
Yeah.
Every day there's something about the Rams. Like, it's in our rundown. By the way, the Los Angeles Rams are doing these things. I'm like, this is Oklahoma. No one cares about your team.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was that big a Rams fan.
Huge Rams fan.
Well, it's good to know that he's a kind of an original Rams guy.
Oh yeah, no, this isn't a fake thing. This is his deal.
Well, so far, if it's a boxing match, I'd give the first quarter at least 10-8 to the Bills.
I would agree.
But that interception may have made it 10-9.
That was a great play.
It was a great play.
Great heady play.
Cam Akers yet to take the field.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, that's
not good. So, in the last 10 years, I haven't watched a ton of NFL football until the last two, because Brittany's a diehard Dallas fan. So typically, you know what college football Saturdays are like for us, right? So on Sundays, I'm doing a lot of things other than watching football. But she's a 90s Cowboys fan. Dad's taking her to training camp. You know, she's watching Emmett and Herb, and she's seen them all in person. She's a diehard fan. So I've watched more NFL in the last 2 years than I've watched in a long time, and it is unbelievable the difference between the games when you really sit down and watch it. The precision of you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you think you watch elite level college football, and it's not that far off from elite level NFL football, and I'm like, those aren't even the same sports. Like, it is a crazy difference. Accuracy, speed.
Yeah, think about the offenses. If you just go back to that Bills-Chiefs game and about, you know, how good these offenses are when they have to play. Because a lot of times in the NFL, it's kind of trying to control the pace of the game.
Right.
You're trying to establish the run. You're trying to get time off the clock. It's not just go out there and let's have a free-for-all, shootout.
Yeah, it's a different game. And it's incredible. It's done nothing but get better over the years. Like, as much as the NFL is the bad guy in professional sports in America, the Shield is the bad guy. The way they go about their business has created a product that is pretty exceptional, right? What we can count on from the NFL each and every Sunday is pretty amazing.
The parity.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, so far, this has not developed into a shootout. And you go the first quarter, and we had basically 3 possessions in the entire first quarter, 2 for Buffalo, one that ended in a turnover that could have been a score, and then 1 for the Rams.
Buffalo's been incredibly balanced so far in this game. They trust their offensive line. Allen clearly throwing the ball well. You can tell they're starting to test the edges with him, moving the pocket around a little bit. Eventually, they're going to throw in some of that. I would assume they'll throw in some of that quarterback run. Like right there. That's a setup for an RPO. Right?
Somebody fumbled the ball.
What a mess.
Boy, those are 2 pretty critical turnovers.
What a mess.
I was watching ESPN this morning, and Joe Buck was on there. He was talking baseball. I kind of was half awake, half asleep. But it was like I was awakened by Joe Buck talking about the Cardinals. Such a familiar voice there. How much of an impact do you think that's going to make on the Monday night's viewership? Buck and Aikman.
In this area, probably quite a bit. I think people will be excited about it.
I think it's just such an upgrade from what they've had.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Really, I think ever since ESPN took over football, those guys' voices, I think, bring a lot of credibility to the game.
I think they do. I've never really been one to turn on or off a game due to who's calling it. I think that Tony Romo has done something in the booth that is unique, which is why he's the highest paid guy in TV right now. But I've never really been one to gravitate. Like, I can tell you what Troy Aikman's voice is. I can tell you Joe Buck's voice is. So but there's a lot of these dudes where I'm like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's been years and years and years since I've really focused in on the broadcast like that. So it doesn't matter to me, but I think there's a lot of people that will see the value in watching games with them calling them. And they've made a bunch of money, didn't they?
Ton of money. Yeah. I think they feel like it is going to be worth it that there will be some people that tune in just for the credibility that they bring to the game. Come on, boy, Akers.
So 95 of last year.
Oh my gosh, what kind of pass is that?
Throwing the ball away. Oh, no one touched him.
I didn't see anybody touch him.
Holy crap.
Well, he was right. That was a strike.
Did they call him down?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Yeah, they got him. They got him down. Yeah. They got him down.
Man, it is this isn't a super sharp game as of yet.
I mean, you wonder how much time Stafford has missed
with the elbow?
With his elbow. That's not an elbow. That was a problem. That now it's not a problem. You wonder how much gamesmanship went into his statement today.
I don't know that had anything to do with the arm. That had a lot to do with the head. I mean, they just threw that ball right there.
Oh, right.
Had plenty of zip on it.
Wonder how much football he's played in general. Did we see him at all in the preseason? I don't think so.
I did not watch any Rams preseason.
Yeah. No one's. I'm always looking for the massive hits early in the games like this. Like those first few weeks, right? You get like the one guy who's like playing at midseason form, who just KOs another dude.
Yeah, we haven't had any big hits yet.
I gotta get some food. Are we gonna eat on this thing?
Can if you want. I just ate early. I knocked it out. It was good.
You know they're honoring my 2002 Oklahoma State team this weekend in Stillwater.
I did not know that.
Yep. Yep. I think when you think Oklahoma State football in the last 20 years and what the brand is today, I think that 2002 team, it wouldn't be here without them, right? It just wouldn't. That was Les Miles came in and told a bunch of kids that were too short, too slow, unknown, that you can be good in this league, and he just made us work harder than anybody else. And it was that was a special season, one I'll never forget. That Houston Bowl year, beat OU, right at home, 28-38.
That game wasn't that close.
That game definitely wasn't that close. And you could always tell when Les gave up the reins, play calling wise, and Gundy took over. You could always tell at the time, because Les don't let anybody ever lie to you. Les Miles called those plays in those early teams. That's why we ran the ball so much. Gundy took over, and it was like it got real pass happy real quick. But Les, when he gave up, I mean, we could have scored 60 on that team if we would have kept with the original game plan. Rashawn Woods getting put in the Hall of Honor this year, which is cool. We're getting old, man.
That is cool.
Like, I found that out a few weeks ago, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, I just remember being on the field and watching former teams, you know, from the 80s, Barry Sanders teams take the field, and me thinking to myself, God, I'm never going to be that old. And here I am, that old.
Oh, man, you're still young? You're very young.
40 years old.
Who was the Houston Bowl against? Remind me?
Southern Miss.
That's right.
They had a middle linebacker that was I want to say he was a first-round pick, first or second-round pick. I think his last name was Davis. He was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Ran like a deer. Most memorable play in that, Tatum Bell. It was memorable because we didn't score, but Tatum Bell breaks a run from like the 17, and that dude never got caught.
Yeah,
he's fast. Like once he got into space, it wasn't like oh, is he going to score? It was like, all right, let's truffle shuffle to the goal line for our extra point. Like he knew he was, and he got caught in that game, and we trolled him relentlessly for getting caught.
Gabe Davis having a nice night.
How many fantasy teams do you have right now?
Too many.
Be honest.
6.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, 6.
You manage 6 different fantasy teams?
Yeah, I do. Not well, apparently, so far.
How many of them are for money?
Well, all of them are for money, but not serious money. There are a few that are, $40,
Nice.
$50.
I'm doing this underdog fantasy thing.
Yeah.
It's the greatest thing ever. I just drafted my teams, set it and forget it.
Yeah.
I don't do anything else.
The daily fantasy aspect, even competing with friends, is we have one football league where we do have part of the entry fee goes to a weekly DraftKings game. So everybody in the league picks their own team, and then the part of the season prize money is doled out every week.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
The underdog fantasy deal also has
that was a nice 1-yard gain there. It could have been worse. 3-yard gain.
Got 3 yards out of that. I can't believe it. They've got so you can pick like higher or lower.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen this deal?
Nope.
So like you can go to the app and they'll have this game up.
Uh-huh.
Josh Allen. Because they're trying to avoid using the over-under deal.
Right.
But it'll say Josh Allen, higher, lower, 265 passing. And so you can pick up to 5 different players and goes up to 6 times your bet.
Okay.
Kind of a cool little deal.
Yeah.
Especially when you know the teams, right?
Right.
So like in college, I'm like, all right, cool. I know exactly what these players are and what they're capable of doing.
Right.
So you put a $10 or $20 bet down, you win $600. But it's got to be it's a 5-player parlay,
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We got to get the Fat Jack on.
Fat Jack was in Denver last week. He was in Vegas. He was in Denver. It's hard to keep tabs on the Fat Jack. Okay. Bills have dominated, but only lead 7-zip. Pretty physical coverage.
Is that Ramsey?
I think so.
He's got a lot to prove this year. I felt like last season was very much I'm playing with my name type of thing. He didn't look nearly as good as he normally does.
That's not Ramsey, by the way. That's good coverage, though. They had to. Would they bring 5 there? 6?
6. I hate kickers.
Oh, he snuck it in.
Yeah, he did.
Well, the Rams' offense has been somewhat disappointing here.
I mean, who else? It's a Whitworth that's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Where do you feel like? I mean, where are you at with the Super Bowl hangover?
I think it's the biggest concern for me because I still like the rest of their roster.
Man, I'm just happy to see fans in the stands in California. Because I'll tell you right now, if you watch the UCLA game, the USC game, really any game on the West Coast, not named Washington or Oregon.
Students will be back at UCLA this week. That's still not much of an excuse because I don't know how many students would be over there.
Let's say 10,000 students show up.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And that wouldn't have made any kind of.
All that does is put 30,000 people in the stands.
Right.
That's wild. USC's turnout, you see their deal?
No.
Not great. They had 3 pick-sixes in that game, by the way. Riley scored a bunch of points. You buying the hype in USC?
I think this week's game is one I'm really interested in seeing. I am buying the hype a little bit. Yeah. I think offensively they're going to score some points.
I would agree.
I don't know about the defense.
Caleb Williams, the Texas game from last year immediately thrust itself into my top 5 sports experiences of my life.
All right.
Of my life. There are games that I've played in, right, that experience beats. I have never in my life seen anything like that kid accomplish last year at Texas. I know Texas is not good, but the odds that he was going to come in that game as a backup and leads into the victory were none. And he never did a single thing on that field without 100% confidence. And if you listen to the USC players, and this is the key, you always listen to the players. They'll tell you the truth, because these dudes today are so caught up with themselves. It used to be a selfless sport, and it's not anymore. You got a bunch of superstars, divas in this thing. It is what it is. But when you listen to that team talk about Caleb Williams, there is legitimate adoration for who he is as a man, as a leader, and as a player. And he hasn't been there very long. Yeah. I think he is a special, special talent.
That's interesting, because I think at OU it was a little – it started out one way, and I think it kind of ended up a different way maybe at the end for him. I'm not sure. He's got a lot of talent, and he's got talent around him too. So their offense should be fine. I don't know how good their defense is.
Right.
The defense gave up some drives to Rice.
Right.
Alex
Grinch should be the head coach of Mountain Union.
Oh,
I stand on that deal. I have never understand how anybody could be beaten up by the speed defensive concept.
Right.
I would have watched 12 hours of film and been like, okay, we got this.
Well, there have been some offenses that have had a lot of success against it. Yeah.
Everybody's like confused on why Kansas State's had success. I'm like, because Kansas State's got NFL players in their offensive line, and they're not idiots. Trust each other. Let it come to you. It's not hard. In that league, though, the football is so bad, maybe it'll be great.
Right.
Like, they're struggling for effort out in the Pac-12.
No, there's just not the passion out there as much as you would think. All right, this is a big drive for the Rams.
Is it who's Akers started, right?
No, Henderson got his third series. Akers got one.
Where did you draft Akers at?
Too high.
Tell us.
Way too high.
Tell the stream.
I can't remember.
Tell the stream.
I've got him in more than one league. It's very sad.
Top 10?
No. Oh no. Third round, I think.
Okay.
Still too high. Way too high. That was a terrible fake by Henderson. He took one step and then turned around and watched. That's gonna get my boy Akers back in the game.
I'm gonna like watching football with you. I am. I'm gonna like it, because most people don't see stuff like that. Like, that's the difference between a good play and a great play, or a good play and a bad play.
I definitely think that the quarterbacks that don't execute fakes in the run pass game, that's a terrible trait.
In this league, it's unacceptable. Like, you can't be that guy. Like, the fake means everything.
Oh my gosh. First down.
I feel like this game has flown by. How are we already into the 7 minutes and 51 seconds to go in the second quarter?
Good question about it. Yeah, we're less than an hour in. Because both teams have been running the ball.
Running the ball, yeah.
That stadium got to be cool to watch a game in.
I'd love to see it. I want to see that one. I want to see the one in Vegas, too. I haven't been in Vegas in 15 years.
I have not been before. I've not been since COVID.
Oh, yeah. You know what I'm watching a bunch of, speaking of Vegas? Hell's Kitchen.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
You've never seen Hell's Kitchen?
No, I haven't watched it.
I'm going to die in the hill that Gordon Ramsay could be one of the greatest football coaches of all time. I'll die in that hill. That dude is a real psycho, Mark.
I've been to one of his restaurants, but I've not seen the show.
Oh yeah, he is breaking people down. Like, he's got a real problem with fat people. He fat shames them, calls them all kinds of names. Like, you have to get it on Peacock so you can get it unfiltered without the beeps.
Yes.
And listen to how he talks. I've never played football for 20 years. Played football in Youngstown. They're not nice in Youngstown. I was coached by people like the Stoopses, and I have never seen an individual undressed and talked to like Gordon Ramsay does those chefs. Never. in my entire life.
I wouldn't think that being a chef would require a lot of toughness, but
Bro, he is Eddie Sutton breaking those dudes down. Women, why do you look like that? What happened to your eyebrows?
oh no, that's not good, man.
I'm obsessed. It's fantastic.
All right, let's see what the Rams have here. Got them all spread out. Empty set. Rush the empty set every time. Stafford's in the fetal position.
Who is that? Phillips.
Jordan Phillips.
Former Oklahoma Sooner Jordan Phillips.
That's correct.
How long has he been in the league now?
He's been in the league probably about 5 or 6 years. I mean, he's always had a lot of talent.
Didn't he have the Joker tattooed on his back?
I don't know.
I think he's got the actual Batman Joker tattooed on his back, and it is a little bit crazy. There you go. That's what Stafford needed. One of the flaws of being an offensive lineman is I always cheer on the offenses. Even when it goes against my team, I'm like, go offense.
That's fine. No issue there.
At some point, somebody's going to get out of this. Like, you would feel like either Buffalo's going to start taking some risk defensively and try to put the Rams out, or vice versa. I feel like the Rams haven't gotten super creative.
First catch from Allen Robinson.
This drive feels very much like a make or break situation. I don't know why, but it does.
Oh, why not just go to Cooper Kupp? What a tackle. Is he going to get it? He got it.
Did he get it? He did.
That is some extra effort there.
That is incredible. He had him wrapped up, and all he had to do was lean forward. I thought he had him dead to rights.
Jordan Phillips, this is, I believe, his 8th year in the league.
Wow.
You ever drive to Kansas City?
Oh, yeah.
So right there, where you can get off the turnpike right outside of Wichita, Towanda.
Oh, yeah.
That's where he's from.
Oh, wow. Middle of nowhere.
29 years old.
I can't believe he got that first down.
There were 19 dudes around him.
He's going to get a penalty here. They throw the flag.
Yeah, they didn't throw the flag.
They didn't throw the flag. Am I crazy, or was that a?
They
I
give
feel
you a
like
little
the
bit
clock was up.
It was almost. I think it was up almost a full second.
Wow. See what home field advantage is.
Yeah.
Well, you excited about the weekend?
Yeah, very excited. I'm as excited about
you
Sunday as I am Saturday.
Where are we doing the show?
I don't know. Where do you want to do it?
I don't know either.
I don't think of a place to do it.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. You know, the biggest growth of a football team you hear all the time is such coach speak, but it really truly is from week 1 to week 2. So we'll get a much better idea of what both Oklahoma and Oklahoma State are bringing to the table. Cowboys have an opponent that's worthy of it. Kent State, I think, is another opponent that's pretty worthy of OU's time. We'll see. And we'll watch the Cowboys too, huh?
The OU
6:30?
Yeah, the OU test will be at Lincoln. Nebraska will play better than they played in the other games.
Oh, I would agree to that. They're going to be pretty fired up about that. Nebraska's going to be pretty fired up. I think the thing that people got to understand about Northwestern, because there's some people going to point back to that game. Well, Northwestern beat them. Northwestern's offensive line, Mark.
Yeah, they've got an All-American.
That left tackle is an NFL player. That dude was incredible. And once they got comfortable and started running the football, getting to the second level, they were flawless in the run game. They're great in the passing game. And then when you have a quarterback that just catches fire and feels comfortable, I mean, that's what you get. Northwestern, I guess what I'm trying to say is Northwestern a better football team than people probably believe coming into the season. I don't think Nebraska is as bad as maybe they look to some.
Well, just because Northwestern wasn't good last year, they're going to have some times when that program's kind of down, but they got a great coach.
Right.
I'm not sure Nebraska has a great coach.
Scott Frost is not a great coach. What do you mean you're not sure?
Oysters, crab cakes, going outside.
It's about time for me to eat.
We'll go to the end of the first half.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about this. Gameday Live is – so this is, what we'll do with you guys every Saturday for OU games and for OSU games when we can. You guys will get on your small screens, your laptops, your iPads, your cell phones, and join us as we give you in-game commentary. We're not calling the game, no play-by-play, but we'll be able to react and comment, when things happen throughout the game and talk about what's going on in other games around the country. We are definitely going to talk a lot about gambling, betting lines, kind of where, what we're betting on for the week. Get some special guest on.
Definitely. Looking forward to that.
Old Sims was knocking down the door today.
We should have come up tonight.
I know it.
What's wrong with Ed Oliver? I mean, the Rams they're in decent shape here for how much they've been outplayed.
Oof.
Beat him out?
I think he got one. I don't think he got both. Cooper Kupp, corner of the end zone. Incredible catch. What do you think? You think he got them both?
I couldn't tell. I mean, I'll go with the referee.
Oh,
he easily got them both.
God. Yeah. Look at the toe, look at this, like a delicate flower. It's incredible.
Wow.
That dude's amazing. The season he had a year ago, unreal. Where did Cooper Kupp play his college ball at?
Eastern Washington.
Like, he's on a trajectory to become one of the all-time greats at the receiver position.
No, it's incredible. It's already 16 fantasy points for ESPN.
For Cooper?
Yeah.
That dude is filthy. I don't know how you guard him. I really don't. I mean, he's just – the route running is unbelievable. There's three or four moves that he made in a 7-yard route. What are we looking at here? A new Rock movie? Is The Rock the new Green Lantern?
Well, The Rock just he was at the game, so clearly he's promoting this movie.
Maybe that's not the Green Lantern. He was working on Aaron Darnold the other day, and I'm like, "What? You could still play football." I don't know who this character is. Do you? Black Adam.
It's Black Adam. I'm not a Marvel guy, man. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I've never heard of Black Adam. Are you Google? Do you know who Black Adam is?
No, I'll Google him up.
No, you did. He's DC Comics. So Chris and Denny are here from the Edge. This is where I train at.
Yeah.
Denny's my trainer. And Denny is a superhero. He knows the things.
Okay.
He knows the stuff. Aficionado. So Black Adam is a DC character.
Movie's coming out in October.
And his name is Black Adam. I can't handle the name.
It's written by a guy named Adam. So it's intended to be a spinoff from Shazam. and the
Shazam
11th
with
film
Shaq?
in the DC Extended Universe. Not that Shazam.
Shaq as Shazam was an Oscar-worthy performance. I feel like the big guy never got enough credit. What does anti-hero mean? Is he a bad guy?
It's a bad guy. Yeah,
Okay.
He's a bad guy.
So they have to call it anti-hero because it's 2022?
I don't know. He will become the arch rival of superhero Shazam and shares his powers from the ancient wizard of the same name.
Like, if you woke up tomorrow with superpowers,
Yeah.
would you be a good guy or a bad guy?
You'd have to be a good guy, wouldn't you?
Mark, I'm turning invisible and robbing all the banks. Yeah, I'm not even going to act like I would do anything but get
You'd
rich
end up
quick.
in prison for 5,000 years. That's not a good end.
Look,
not a good
catch me if
ending.
you can.
You should have to use your superpowers for goodness.
Yeah, no, I'm the bad guy in the movie. I'd admit it. It's okay.
Who else is in this movie?
What is that? There's stuff coming out of the kitchen I've never even seen before. That's a fondue?
It's a salad. Salad and green beans.
I'm not worried about the salad.
Yeah, somebody's messing up on that.
Are you eating again when we're done?
Nope, I'm full. That was good. I had some boudin sausage balls and hush puppies.
You would eat the balls.
Yeah, I love the balls. They're good. They're spicy. The balls are spicy. You know, I mean,
I'm a child. I'm not even going to act like I'm nuts.
They're going to be better.
Deep fried spicy balls.
The boudin sausage was really good.
Brent's is authentic Cajun food.
I'll tell you another show that's pretty good that I like and I've watched here recently is True South. There's some new episodes coming out this week.
It's on Fox.
Well, no, it's on ESPN.
Oh.
It's Wright Thompson, where they go around the SEC, and it's a little bit historical.
Oh, yeah. A&M was just on, right?
A little historical. Oh, they have one in Beaumont. And I don't know that they had one there. So
maybe I haven't seen this yet.
No, you need to see it. It's good.
It's called True South.
True South. They've had 12 episodes so far. Cisco's asking us how long we're going. We're going to go to half.
Yeah.
We'll stay with you till half. Rams are kind of easing their way into the game. Third and long.
This game very much has a 17-7 feel to it.
Think so?
Even though it's 10-7.
Even though it's 3rd and 12 here?
I just feel like there's just been more positive plays.
Oh, no. If you went to the scorecards, it'd be Buffalo.
Right. Have you seen this? They're showing the ring right now.
Yeah, it has a piece of the what's it got in there?
It's got that mock stadium. Like you pull the top off, and it's got the stadium underneath it, which is insane. The creativity in that deal, way better than our bowl rings.
What was the best bowl ring you got?
The one from the Houston Bowl was solid gold. We got no other bowl gifts. It was just a big, giant, solid gold piece of, none of those bowl rings are real.
Right.
Like, of course they're not going to spend the money on getting us real rings. But yeah, so that was the big part of we didn't get anything else really but that ring and like a backpack.
What a catch. Man, that was a good play. That was a difference that too many men on the field may be the difference in this game being 17-7.
You got to know that the Diggs family is just beaming, right? Both those boys out there playing at such a high level.
Boy, that was a great catch. Great pass.
They say Buffalo's Diggs can play both sides. Legitimately line up on the other end and be an NFL player. Like, that's saying a lot.
He's got excellent footwork. 2-minute warning. So can I put you down for going to Black Adam on the opening night? October 21st, 2022. That's right around the corner, man.
Only if Cisco goes.
Pierce Brosnan was in there. We saw him in the trailer.
I'm a big Pierce Brosnan guy. He's my favorite Bond.
Not Sean Connery, Roger Moore.
I do love Sean Connery. I'm a big Sean Connery Red October guy.
That was a good movie.
It's a great movie. Sign me up for Red October.
Pierce Brosnan is 69 years old.
Is he really?
Yes.
Still getting it done at a high level. Where are you going to be when you're 69? So like 5 years
man,
from you.
I don't know. I hope not in the ground.
How old is Al?
He's way past 69.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Is he 80?
No.
Okay.
Al is
Late
mid
70s?
mid 70s.
Mid 70s.
Upper range to mid.
Is Jim 60?
Jim is 60. Yes.
Okay. You're not much older than me.
Oh yeah, I am. 52.
Oh yeah.
That's 12 years. I guess
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Wow.
What?
Craig, how old is Craig?
Craig is, I think.
He's not Al's age.
No. Craig's a little bit older than Jim.
God, you guys are all getting ready to die off.
That's right. It's probably a good time to get a resume in.
No doubt.
That's why we got so many young producers at this stage.
Coming back at the right time.
They put up with a lot of abuse.
Well,
who do you like in the Eagles-Lions game?
I am a victim of Hard Knocks. I will straight up say this about myself.
When you watch that's how good HBO production is. If HBO did a story about you and I mean, they would make us look a whole lot better.
100%.
Than we are. Right.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
I'd be in for that.
Yeah. Like they could convince people that we were going up for the WCW Tag Team Championship of the World. They could find a way to
I'd be
produce
the
it that
manager.
way. Yeah.
Oh wow, he threw another interception. Craig Hill's been pretty good tonight.
Yeah, so as a former player, it is very easy to fall in love with what Detroit is doing. Their coach, their staff, the message, it's all from the heart.
Yeah.
Right? Like there is no agenda there. It's
well,
legitimately
you can't
all
fake
from the
it.
heart.
You can't fake that.
You can't fake it. We've seen Hard Knocks over the years that you didn't feel that. The Dallas Hard Knocks, I didn't feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I didn't buy McCarthy like I'm buying whatever the head coach's name is up there in Detroit.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell, yeah. I mean, he's believing everything that he's saying, and I think that it just comes down to Jared Goff, who looked great in the preseason. He looked awesome in the preseason.
I mean, some people don't like it. I don't understand why they wouldn't, because to me, it really does feel authentic. You can get a great feel for a coach. Like, Bill O'Brien is a complete nightmare, you know?
Yeah.
When he was coaching the Texans.
Yes, I agree. And McCarthy's deal, like, none of that crap seemed genuine to me. Like, it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't, and you could tell by the way his team's undisciplined now that there's a disconnect between him and that team. I truly believe that. Like, you don't get 17 penalties in a preseason game. Like, I know it's a preseason game, but you're the most penalized team in football a year ago. That's a disconnect between the head coach and the team.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty visible to see during Hard Knocks with Dallas.
Well, I think that's something to watch for in their game Sunday night. I mean, are they going to have that many penalties?
Right.
That's something that just continues to kind of sustain itself. Game tonight, the defenses have been better than I expected. But whether it's forcing turnovers or just kind of hanging in the game, I mean, I thought we might have a bunch of points scored in this.
Defenses should always be ahead, I feel like, of the offenses at this stage in the season.
That was a terrible pass.
God, who was he throwing it to? It looked like Neil O'Donnell. I've got PTSD from that Super Bowl. Pittsburgh,
Larry
Dallas,
Brown.
95, is that what it was?
Around that time.
95, 96. Neil O'Donnell's kids had to get, so keep in mind, I'm in sophomore in high school. Mad as hell the day of the Super Bowl. And it came out in the paper like 2 days later that his kids are going to have to move school because, like Youngstown's a big like mob town.
Right.
Like real talk.
They were
in
upset.
that whole area. So the narrative in my high school was that dude was getting paid. He was paid to throw the ball to all those Dallas Cowboys. Because that's what it looked like. You think about the TVs that we were watching back then and the camera angles.
Yeah.
So how many times that we saw him throw the ball directly to Dallas Cowboys, like multiple times in that game?
I think that was just Neil O'Donnell. The Steelers were kind of a surprise Super Bowl team that year, right?
You might have been surprised. Steeler Nation wasn't.
As a straight up hold on Cooper Kupp. So well, how many catches is he going to end up with tonight?
Oh, 10 or more, 10 plus.
I mean, I think he's got 6 or 7 right now.
Right. If you've got Cooper Kupp in a point per catch league, you are loving every second of this.
I don't even. I'm upset. I did terribly in fantasy drafts. Cam Akers has been in, and he's carried the ball twice, and now you get negative yards. You can already tell it's going to be a crappy year. It's going to be a crappy year for me, fantasy-wise.
How many teams,
one quarter in the first game?
How many leagues?
I might make the playoffs in 2 leagues.
And you've got 6 leagues?
Yeah, 6. Yeah. I don't know, man. I may have 2 teams that are decent.
You got to love the NFL's Week 1 matchups, man. They hooked us up. Bunch of great football games.
This has been as good as one as we've had. What is Cam Akers doing? He wants to go back to the bench. Cooper Kupp, 6 for 48 and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 6 for 62.
Stafford's a tough kid.
Now, Buffalo thinks this is back to the AFC conference semifinals. Get the ball back with 25 seconds left. They'll go down the field and score.
The day we figure out a way to, second these commercials come on. If this is an NBA game, you're seeing LeBron James and whatever he's peddling, and you see his face. The second that we find a way to really give the NFL players the spotlight that we give.
Look at that.
I know. I got to eat. I got to eat some food.
You just order. You better order before it's all gone. There's another big plate going outside.
I got to try that fondue.
Oh, my goodness. How's it going?
Yeah, we got to get the NFL players their personalities. We don't get to see enough of them.
No shoe deals.
Yeah, right? It's so weird. Let me tell you something. Jordan Phillips is a handful.
Yeah.
He is so violent at the point of attack. You watch him come out of his stance, and the first thing the power with his hands and the movement at the same time, and his body, he looks as good.
He's got 2 sacks. He's been the MVP of the defense so far.
He's fantastic. Watch him come off the ball here. Just an instant movement. That game was fantastic.
A little duck in and then go to the outside.
That's a big dude moving real fast. I saw him do a standing backflip at his pro day. It's like, yep, you're a real
That's athletic.
Yes. All right, Brett. I need some. Can we do some fondue? I've never had it before. Is it delicious? It looked delicious. There's been a bunch of things that have walked past me tonight that I'm unfamiliar with. I want them all. No. Let me try the fondue and let me do some crab. I've never had a crab cake here either. Yeah. Let's do fried. Yeah. I'll just do 2. No, I'll just do 2 because I'm going to eat something else too. I'm starting there. Oh, I got to get my order in. Okay.
There's another catch from Cooper Kupp. 7. That one went backwards though.
If you haven't been to Brent's, get here. Bottom line. He's the guy. $57-yard field goal attempt.
57.
Who's your kicker?
Well, I got Matt Gay in one league.
Who?
Matt Gay. The Rams kicker.
Oh, okay. We'll get some points here.
I hope.
He won't. He's going to miss it.
Probably misses it, right?
All right, let's wrap her up.
Just the way it goes. Okay. I hope you all enjoyed hanging out with us tonight. Make sure you hang out with us on Saturday night. We're going to be watching some football games. We'll have some guests on the show. And as Sam said, come try Brent's Cajun. I can vouch for it. It's outstanding.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next time across all these platforms here for Game Day Live.
Later, guys.